People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.
Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
All right, good evening, and welcome to WSBI, your Resource Success Podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. I am your host, Kimberly McLemore, and welcome to another night of sharing, and welcome to 2020. I cannot believe that we are in a new year and a new decade. Oh my goodness, and we have an amazing start to our show for the first of the year. I have with me Jacinta Parris. She is the CEO of Love Life Virtual Solutions. Jacinta Parris is an award-winning virtual assistant to big female entrepreneurs. She specializes in administrative, social media, and lifestyle management. Jacinta also coaches other aspiring VAs on how to build a lasting business with a higher purpose. Love Life Virtual Solutions began as Jacinta's way of helping women gain the sort of work-life balance most women crave. Virtual assistance is more than just helping a task. It is about helping women achieve their goals while they enjoy the fruits of their labor. That was 2 years ago. Since then, Jacinta has worked with many amazing and ambitious women, Fortune 500 companies, as well as aspiring virtual assistants, all having amazing visions and dreams for the future of their business. Jacinta loves the feeling she gets when she is able to be part of someone's dream, saving them valuable time by taking some of the weight off their shoulders. As a virtual assistant coach, Jacinta also teaches other VAs the value and purpose of service they provide to entrepreneurs. Her teachings assist VAs in taking their business to the next level while maintaining balance in their own amazing lives. So now, without further ado, welcome to my platform, Miss Jacinta Parris. Hey, Jacinta, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, it has been my pleasure, and I'm glad that we finally got connected here. It's been kind of crazy the first few minutes before we even got started. So,
yes.
So finally we're on, and it's the beginning of the year, and you're my first guest. Yay!
Yay, that is amazing news. Amazing news. 2020 has gotten off to a great year, so I'm really excited about everything that is going to happen this year and this next decade.
All right. Okay. So we're having a little bit of internet connection issues. I can hear it a little bit in the background. So let me know if you're having any with me on my side, but I think I'm good on this end. I just want to make sure that everybody enjoys this amazing new live show for today. But before we get started with all the other big stuff, Jacinta, besides the things that I have read about you in the bio, why don't you tell the listeners a little more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I can hear you perfectly on my end, so I hope you can hear me. Okay. So a little bit about me. Wow, there's so much to know, but in a nutshell, I started my entrepreneurial journey about 6 years ago, and I really have a really unique story as to what led me to becoming a virtual assistant. When I graduated college in 2013, I was in corporate America for like a year and a half, 2 years, and I was like, this is not for me. I was at work literally dreaming of doing something more. And so I started a residential and commercial cleaning business, myself and a very close friend. And We started our business. We thrived. We were very, very successful. And then about a year and a half into our business, we got super overwhelmed with like all of the things that comes with running a successful business. We didn't know much about outsourcing. We didn't understand how outsourcing worked. We were just really trying to do everything ourselves. And we just got really overwhelmed, got really, really burnt out. And it really took a toll on not only mental health, but also friend and business partners' mental health. And so it was through that journey of going through that, I actually found out and learned about what a virtual assistant was. And from there, that's actually what inspired my journey to become a virtual assistant. And so that's just a little bit about my background and kind of what led me to doing now.
Okay, wow. So, what a journey. I mean, it's amazing how you have to go through certain things in order to realize that, I need to do something about this because we're already over the edge, right? So, having that experience. Yeah, so having that experience, I think, is amazing. But what I want to do, before we dive into a little bit more of the business, tell our listeners a little bit more about who you are personally. Where are you originally from? And then I heard you say you went through college and everything, but kind of give us a little bit more feedback about who you are.
Yeah, sure. So I'm originally born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina. Here my entire life, still here. I'm actually first generation American. So I'm the person in my family to be born here in the United States, which has been a great journey, something very unique about me. And I just am a lover of life. I love life. I love traveling. I love my family and friends. And I'm just really all about just being in a space where I'm doing something that I absolutely love. So that's a little bit about me.
All right. Well, that's a good, amazing story too. So I like to always hear the background of everybody, but I think it's important that we all know we come from somewhere, but like your journey has you're a first of everything, and now here you are. You've been in business for the last couple of years. You're growing from that, and your experiences in business. But before you kind of realize that, hey, I'm having this problem with my business, what else inspired you besides those problems that you were running into, and besides the fact that, hey, I went to college and I just wanted to jump into trying to do something for myself? What else inspired you to do business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been somebody that has kind of had that entrepreneurial spirit. I can remember literally being 9 years old, and the neighborhood that I lived in, very rural neighborhood, and like everybody on my block, we were all like just very close knit, kind of like family. And I started at 9 years old, literally selling. This was the day when everyone used to listen to CDs, and I used to listen to. I used to make mix CDs for people in my neighborhood, and I would literally go like door to door, and with this list, I would buy CDs, tell them to my neighbors, and so literally from old, I was just always kind of entrepreneurial spirit. Always knew that I wanted to do something different. Didn't quite know what it was. Just knew that I definitely had that business spirit and calling on my life.
Wow. That's good.
Yes.
So for those who don't know what CDs are, okay, there's a lot of people out here who do not understand what a CD is. So, we'll break it down for y'all just for a second. Obviously showing a little bit of our ages when it comes to CDs, because young folks are all about.
People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.
about, getting on the internet and downloading, so,
yes,
CDs
that's true.
Yeah. And before CDs, we had records, so those who don't understand what a record is.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that you kind of knew within yourself, and a lot of people, when they're entrepreneurs or when they get that taste or feel of what it means to be an entrepreneur, it's hard to step backwards and go back and work for somebody, knowing that is really where you want to be, is moving forward and starting something for yourself. But then what you learn in the process of being that business owner, that it wasn't just starting for something for somebody else. You realize how many other lives that you've been able to touch in this process of, being a business owner, and being inspired to do it for yourself is one thing, but it's very inspirational when you can bless other people, giving them an opportunity to grow themselves, but also give them an opportunity to have jobs. So talk more about, so I just think it's always important to note that, because a lot of times, when we're in business for ourselves, it takes a long time to be able to provide that opportunity for others, within the business, because it's a lot more responsibility, of course. But when you decided to do the business that you had of cleaning service, that definitely takes people, and
absolutely,
and trusting those to run the business the way that you want it to be ran. And that takes a toll on people, and it's a lot of responsibility. And, so a lot of times people don't understand when they're first coming to business that those things happen. And like you said, you grew so fast that you were overwhelmed. But
absolutely.
The good part I like is that you didn't give up. And, like I said, now you are a blessing to so many others. But talk about those challenges you did face when you started a couple of years ago, beyond the fact, like you said, you were kind of going crazy. I'm going to get this business moving forward. You talked a little bit a few minutes ago about the outsourcing. So kind of tell my listeners more about those challenges of what it means to be in business.
Absolutely. So one of the major things and one of the most heavy parts of my entire story that kind of brings it all together and kind of sums up why I do what I do. It sums up why I'm truly inspired to do what I do, and kind of a little bit of my background. Like I mentioned before, when I started my cleaning business, it was myself and a very close friend of mine that was also my business partner. And like I mentioned to you before, business and everything we were going through in the business, and just some life challenges as well, really took a toll on our mental health. And I really went through a dark state, really went through a deep depression during that time. And unfortunately, my friend took more of a toll on her than it took on me. And she had to step away from it's really hard to talk about. Like I said, it's a part.
Just a little bit, hon. So go back and repeat that again.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's something that is really, hard for me to talk about. It's a part of my story. My friend, she unfortunately committed suicide. Oh, wow. As a result of, her mental health deteriorating, as a result of a lot of the things that we had going on in our business, and just being overwhelmed and burned out. And she was always an overachiever. So no matter how successful we had gotten in the business, it was just never enough for her. And so, like I said, as a result of that happening, that really took a toll on me. I really sank into deep depression as a result of that. As a result of what happened to my friend, and just wanting to make her smile and wanting to keep going, because I know that's what I would have wanted. And then wanting to kind of bridge the gap between entrepreneur and mental health, because mental health is real, especially being an entrepreneur. It really hits us, I would say, a lot harder than a lot of other people, So just wanting to really help and be that person that can step in, help someone as their virtual assistants, and provide that back end support so that they don't get overwhelmed, and so that they do have a balance between, their business, their work, and their personal life. That's what really inspired me to do what I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm definitely sorry to hear about your friend. The thing that amazes about us as women, we're natural nurturers anyway, and we're always overachievers. And the other part that we find within our own communities, especially in our minority communities, is that we don't talk about mental illness being an issue, because a lot of times we don't even know we have it. And so then once we do, discover that we do have it, that it's a very hard topic of discussion to bring, because nobody wants to believe that there's something wrong with them. And mental illness does not have to mean that you're crazy per se, and I think that's where a lot of times people put that in that category. And it's just a shame to find that, when you have somebody who's so passionate about what they believe in and what they do, and there's always those people who don't really understand why they feel the way they feel and why they do some of the things that they do. And it can take you over edge, like you said, just in your normal daily life of trying to be successful within yourself and achieve the things that you want to achieve. It pushed you even over the edge, even before, your friend and colleague, had took her life away because of something you guys believed in. And I'm so thankful that you moved on and that you were able to get through what you had to go through, and with the depression. And there are good days, still there are bad days, but I pray that you made it because it's providing something needed, in our community and in your community specifically in what you're doing. So talk a little bit more, Jacinta, about the business itself. How does Love Life Virtual Solutions make women crave for that balance, and what do you provide them?
Absolutely. So, just remembering kind of going back to when we had our cleaning business, and just literally we were wearing like all the hats of a business. I mean, there are so many things that go into having a business that obviously people don't see. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that goes into it. And for two people to be running a very successful cleaning business and not having any help outside of obviously the people that are doing the cleaning, but just having to do the marketing, sending emails, follow-ups, doing the books. I mean, there's just a million things going on. And so, once again, not having any support and not having anyone, that you can call on for kind of help other than the other person, I mean, that really can take a toll. So with Love Life Virtual Solutions, what I do, I offer services under 3 different umbrellas. I offer administrative support, social media management, and lifestyle management support. And so, I just provide some of the tasks and services that business owners need, so that it can kind of put some time back into their lives, obviously.
Right.
And so, when I talk to a lot of my clients, literally after a week or two working with them, they're like, oh my gosh, what used to take me 25 hours to do, you've done in 5 hours. I'm able to spend more time with my family and friends. I'm able to, come home and actually have date night with my husband. I'm able to pick my son up from work, and just things like that really inspires me to keep going, because that's stuff that they couldn't do. And, you get to a point sometimes, and I know I got to this point in business where you kind of start questioning, why did I even start a business? Why don't I just go back and get to a 9-to-5? Because I just have way.
People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.
Much going on, and I'm just overwhelmed. So, just being able to hear that my clients not only are saving time, but they feel more balanced, they have more clarity. It's just amazing. And that's why I do what I do.
Right. And you're right. It's one of those situations, like you said, I think I've heard this in every business owner, is like, you wonder one day, why am I doing what I'm doing? But at the end of the day, you really do know your purpose. It's just, like I said, we all get overwhelmed. We all try to understand how we've gotten ourselves into this hole. Having people like you definitely helps. But I think the biggest part for owners is realizing that they do need the help, and, saying it's okay to let go and let the other person, take care of the things that they just don't have time to do. And that's
absolutely.
And I think that's a big part of what we go through as business owners, trying to lay that out and say, okay, well, what can I have them do? What do I really trust them to do? Are they going to see the business the way I see it? All of those things. So when you're going through the process of somebody like me who's come to you and says, hey, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what I really need. talk just a little bit about the steps that you take when you're, I guess, maybe doing a strategy session or talking about what it is you're going to need in order to know, to help them become successful, should I say?
Yeah, absolutely. So usually, the way it works is initially when a client comes to me or, when I randomly find someone online that kind of needs support, we have an initial discovery call that usually lasts between, 20 to 25 minutes, not anything too long and drawn out. But it's just really a session where I can get to know them and they can get to know me. They can get an idea of how I work, what I can provide to them, and then I get clarity in their business goals, what they have going on, what they feel most overwhelmed with, how long it's taking them to do certain things. And we really kind of dive deep into what they have going on and what they just need assistance with and support. So once we kind of get over, that hump and really clarity on that, from there we move forward and they kind of decide, well, hey, I have, different packages that I offer. Mm-hmm. I normally offer, a certain amount of hours per month that can be purchased, and just kind of depending on where they're at their business and how much support they need, they kind of decide on, hey, I need 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, and then we go from there.
Excellent. Yeah, and I asked that question for a purpose because I think a lot of times people don't understand the difference between discovery, and then doing a strategy session, or, people think sometimes when you are talking to them, it's like they want as I call it, the kit and caboodle all in one package, everything up front.
Yes.
Not realizing, and it's one of my pet peeves. That's why I bring it up, because, a lot of times as business owners, a lot of times people really do want things free, and you have to learn to value the knowledge that you have, and so
absolutely
doing a discovery is like you said, it's very basic. It gives you an opportunity to kind of hear what they're about and then decide, okay, well, here's the next steps that we can take. Absolutely. That is a strategy, and that's what your packages provide is, hey, this is where you are, depending on where you are in your business, this is what we can give you. And I'm finding that there are a lot more business owners going down that type of path. And it's more like what we call it, a project manager. I look at everything as timelines, things that will set you for success. And so it's always great to hear and learn that how other business owners like yourself are doing that, so that people realize that, what you have, like I said, is very valuable. And in order for them to see that individual, whether it's a virtual assistant or their business, become successful, you have to know where they're at first before you can give them everything they need. And I guess I'm going to ask you the question that I'm going to start asking everybody throughout the year is, what do they do to those individuals who say, well, I can get this for free? What is your response?
Wow. So I would say, first of all, I think in my business and my field, what I do, I don't think that's like, I've never heard someone say that to me. And I don't think, like, there's so many things that I do that there's no way that you can get the things that I do for free. I mean, maybe some things, but again, I'm a firm believer in that everybody has a specific zone of genius. Everybody has God-given talents, no matter if you don't think you do. Everybody has something that they can do better than, someone else, or just an innate gift. And so I feel like with that, there could be something that a client can come to me and they could very well do that thing themselves, but it may take them 25 hours to do. And it may only take me 2 hours to do, so even that, just being able to save them time, being able to save them resources, just being able to save them that headache and give them that peace of mind that it's going to be done and it's going to be done correctly. To me, that's something that's priceless. And then also, I'm also a firm believer in the old school quote, you get what you pay for. Sometimes, and I do get a lot of people not necessarily saying that they get my services for free, but that they can get it for less. And, that's absolutely fine. My response to people like that is like, well, I'm just not your ideal VA, and I don't really, I get discouraged about things like that, because I feel like, your people, your tribe are going to kind of come to you organically. And if somebody is not for you, they're just not for you. It's fine if you don't feel like you want to pay, X amount of dollars for my services, and you want to go hire somebody else that's like $8 an hour or $7 an hour, you get what you pay for. So
that's right.
I don't get discouraged when people say things like that, because there are thousands of other people that need my services that I can offer.
Exactly. And I like that you brought that up, because that is really the best of the day. And, so it's old school for us. We've heard it a million times. You get what you pay for. And that's a good thing to remember, because, like I said, there's definitely people out here who can do things for less, but I always believe it's about how you deliver it and, what the services you are providing. So, yeah, when I hear that too, I'm like, well, you're right. You can't get things for free, but, if you're looking for good, valuable service, then you could definitely, you got to get it here, or you can go somewhere else and get it. So, and I think that's a part of what we learn as going in business. Sometimes we get excited and it's like, oh yeah, everybody wants our services, but then when you start to talk about the pricing, sometimes people do not know how to value, even though they know that they need that service. Trying to cut corners is not going to get you where you need to get to be a successful business.
You have to invent yourself. You have to get that mindset of like, okay, I can't freebie myself to death. I can't freebie my way to $1 million or 6 years. Like at some point, you're going to have to say, okay, I just need to invest in myself to really get to where I need to be.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it doesn't happen overnight, listeners. So if you're listening to this, Jacinta is definitely giving us some great information here. And our discussion is about business. And that's what I try to do on all my shows, is talk more about what it means to have the resources, what it means to be in business, the ups and downs. It's not always peaches and cream, but this is the reality of who we are. And this is, the things that we do for our purpose. And like one of my good friends and colleague of mine that I love to death, he always talks about the difference of chasing, it's either you're going to chase money or you're going to chase your purpose. And a lot of times when we come into business, most people, we're all guilty of it. We start out looking at chasing the money because we think in our minds, this is what business is about, not realizing that you have a purpose and then the money will come. So, we learn lessons, and, so I steal that from him all the time, because I think it's a valuable point to make when you're having a conversation about talking about being a small business owner, just being in business, period. So Jacinta, you have given us some amazing things tonight. First of all, again, congratulations on your business. I can't believe you've only been doing it for 2 years.
Yes. It's not been very long.
Yeah, but you've been talking like you've been in it for 100 years. So
Yeah, because, the thing about it is, being a virtual assistant, I was really able to combine everything that I've ever done over the course of my life. I mean, even going back, like when I was 15 years old, doing customer service stuff and, doing data entry and stuff like that. I mean, just from then up until even college and even corporate America, I was really able to combine all the skills that I had and offer those services to my clients. So even though I've technically only been a VA for 2 years, I mean, I've really been a virtual assistant for years because of I've just been doing this stuff for so long. So yeah.
Right, yeah, and that's the beauty too about what you've done with your business. And most of us who are in business, you start to look back and think about what it is that you've accomplished throughout your life, and you start to pick up these little itty bitty things like, what, I've done this, I've done that, I've done A, B, C, and D. Absolutely, I can use this in my business, and it's really kind of the same platform and the same ideas that they're doing now when you're going into college. You no longer have to go back and take all these millions of classes that you don't need. They're literally using life experience,
absolutely,
and your job experience in order to provide you those credits that you need to go to school. So it's no different in that perspective. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel and trying to teach something that you already know, right? So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So you were definitely doing it the right way. And like I said, I pray and continue that you continue to move forward, you continue to do a good job. But before we leave off on the platform this evening, I want to tell the listeners how they can find you.
Absolutely. So right now, my website is actually under construction, but for the time being, we'll be launching the next next 30 days. But for now, I can be reached on Instagram and Facebook. So my Instagram handle is just at Love Life, spelled out LOVELIFE, Virtual Solutions. And then Facebook, it would just be facebook.com/Love Life Virtual Solutions. So I can be contacted there. You can go on both of those platforms and learn everything you need to learn about my business and what I offer. And just send me a message and I will respond with any questions that you have.
All right. Wow. And again, for those who did not hear that or hearing, because there's, like I said, we're having a little bit of internet connections are sounding kind of crazy. I can hear you and you can hear me, but I still hear a little bit of interruption. So I just want to repeat this again. For Facebook or for Instagram, you can reach Jacinta at Love Life Virtual Solutions. Pretty easy to spell. Yes. Love as it is, LOVE, Life, LIVE, Virtual Solutions. And, hit her up, support her. If you have any questions about needing a VA, she is the person that you want to go and talk to. And like I said, I'm just excited because I can still believe I've been doing this 2 years. I mean, having the opportunity to work with Fortune 500 companies and other aspiring women, and then you've been assisting other people learning how to be a VA. That's pretty promising. Absolutely. And, hey, we're looking forward to hear more about you in the near future. So definitely we'll be having you back on the show because we want to hear more about some growth and, I don't know, maybe a book on the line.
Absolutely. I actually, I'm sorry, that's actually, I forgot to mention, I can't believe it. So I actually was a part of an anthology. It's called The Queen Boss Rise. And it's myself and 14 other authors, entrepreneurs. And we're pretty much just talk about our journey and kind of what led us down the path of what we're doing now. So we were best-selling authors on Amazon. And so it's amazing, The Queen Boss Rise. So that can actually be purchased as well on my Facebook page. Yes.
Well, I wish I'd have known that. People said, "Well, I come on my other show."
Yes,
I have
absolutely.
The Author's Corner, so I've got to have you on that so you can talk particularly about the book.
Yes. Absolutely. Awesome.
All right. Well, again, I just want to thank you so much for spending your evening with me tonight. Do you have any last words for my listeners?
I just want everyone just to really just be positive about 2020. I know that can be very hard. I know it may sound like cliche, but God has not brought us this far to leave us, and I just really feel like 2020 is just going to be a turn point for everyone. I just feel like so many just good things and just lots of positive vibes about this year. So no matter what place you are in your business, just keep going. Like, don't stop. Like, every little and small step that you take day to day is getting you closer to whatever end goal that you have, but you have to stay consistent. And that's something that is a goal for me as well, because I tend to be inconsistent at times. So just really being consistent, staying the course, and just knowing no matter what anyone says, God placed, your particular gift and your particular talent in your heart, and there are people that you need to reach. So no matter where you're at, just keep going. And I'm 1,000% sure that God will take you where He needs to be.
All right. Excellent.
Yes.
All right. Again, thank you so much for being on our show this evening. For everyone else, we will be back on next Thursday evening. We have another amazing guest. We're also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and for those who don't know, we're on about 7 new platforms. So you can look us up on Facebook at WSBI, and then information of where all the other platforms are. Well, I can name a few more: Deezer, Google Podcasts, and a whole bunch of others. I'm starting to lose track of how many more we got now. But for those who may be interested in doing some sponsoring or advertising, we have 9 platforms that the show goes on. So there's no way that people won't know who you are, can't find you. So if you're interested in learning about how to do your advertising, you can reach out to me anytime at on my email or through my Facebook at WSBI.com. And again, we do appreciate you spending the evening with us. We're here every Thursday at 7 p.m. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. But until next time, you have a good night. Thank you.
Awesome. You too.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.